Hello, and welcome to ohmTown Daily, Season 2, Episode 227 for August 15th, 2023. Tonight we discuss Let There Be LED, food delivery at your airline gate, the fifth force of Fature, nature, TRON 3 Derezzed, Taco Tuesday to September 5th while you play Starfield. NFL without cable for all of 2023. The problem with statistics goes presidential. HP puts the dysfunction in multifunction. Itty bitty mammalia. Well, something scientific. Magic, the felony card trading game, the high-speed webway, and the start of the fast food wars. Next. Hello, everybody. I am Mayor Watt. That is ohmTown.com, and up there is the AI that keeps everything in check. You want to say hello?
Good evening, ohmTown citizens.
I don't know. Maybe I'm in the manic stage of the swing between. No, I had a lot of
You're in
sugar.
the something kind of stage.
I had sugar, and meetings that went today were doing okay. So, other than that, I saw something right before the show started that I thought was really funny. It's on the front page at the moment, and it has to do with politics, but only as a ha. I can't believe somebody would actually do this. You can't make this stuff up. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. Trump Jr.'s girlfriend apparently mentioned John Gotti as a comparison to Trump. And I'm trying to find the article.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it just popped up, and I'm sitting there going, oh, well, I guess you just can't make this stuff up. Sure. Oh, there it is. Kimberly Guilfoyle cites John Gotti to defend Trump, makes the opposite point she intended. Come on, folks. I'm telling you, we are in a timeline like Looper, where like the worst possible thing could have gotten hold of a time machine, and our future is going to be kind of like Back to the Future Part 2, where, what's his name? Make like a tree and get out of here. That dude, Biff.
Oh, Biff, right.
Yeah, owns like everything. Just saying. I almost want to say that Idiocracy was a documentary, but the truth is out there, and I don't want to believe. I'm gonna cry.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
Let's get going. The very first article is over in the Mobile channel. The LED light revolution has only just begun. Rise up. Anybody have an LED light around? I mean, I'm surrounded by them. Those are LEDs back there, but I can't grab them and wave them around in the air and say fight the incandescent enemy.
I mean, that would have been well timed to have that.
Yeah, see, but I don't plan anything, I dive in with both feet and I don't know, hit a rock. So LED lights have saved a lot of energy, but there's a lot more they can still do. The heir to the incandescent bulb is just getting started after reigning in more than a century. After reigning for more than a century, the once mighty incandescent light bulb was forced to relinquish its socket throne earlier this month. The coup, more than 16 years in the making, took place on August 1st when the Biden administration finally implemented a long-delayed rule under the 2007 Energy Independence and Security Act. That rule bans most incandescents. So let's go over to the source. It's over at Vox.com, a relatively new source to be publicly available. Umar Irfan is the author of this. There's one thing that I have a problem with incandescents is that they're not full range. Every did I say incandescent?
Yes.
I should have said LED. So LED lights are not full spectrum. They are functionally, they're brighter, but they're not natural light. Whereas incandescent bulbs tend to be more on the natural side. And so when you compare a color of something under LED light, it's not the same as under incandescent or natural light. And this has come up periodically, but it says the new Monarch is the light emitting diode or LED and is poised to have an enduring reign. And I agree. It's going to rule the roost for quite some time, mainly because unless planned obsolescence kicks in, we have a history of a single light bulb lasting 6 to 10 years. And it's not just anecdotal, because I've got 10-year-old light bulbs that are LEDs, like original series Hue light bulbs. Go ahead.
I mean, it seems like it's good that we're going to them for energy efficiency. I know people complain about sensitivity to the LED bulbs, but I don't know if that's any better or worse than other bulbs. But...
Yeah, there's always going to be somebody that's sensitive to something somewhere. It's just the nature of biology and various sensitivities. It's kind of like allergies, really. Beyond mimicking its predecessor, LED technology brings a whole new suite of capabilities and could let us rethink our entire relationship with light. LEDs are inherently dimmable. They can integrate into surfaces directly, turning walls and ceilings into light sources. Their power consumption can still fall further too. Yep. And if you, like here in ohmTown, have grow lights for microgreens, right? Those they suck up power, let me tell you. But they're full spectrum, they're high power, and you're growing a crop so that you can consume it indoors instead of utilizing the sun. That's what makes produce pretty inexpensive en masse, making some people extremely wealthy. Is the sun is doing all of the work, and all humans are doing is harvesting the hard work that the sun is providing. But with LEDs, I can guarantee my crop is going to be 100% harvested. Kind of interesting, right? Anyway, how LEDs dethrone the incandescent bulb and how they can expand their empire of light. Essentially, they became more powerful, more portable, longer lasting, cheaper to run. You can manufacture them with greater quality control and just so many other things. But the LED was invented by Nick Holoniak, Jr. in 1962. But that was just a diode, and it just got more efficient, smaller, more powerful, more capable. The biggest thing is heat dissipation. Now they're hooked up, very strong LEDs are hooked up to big metal plates to dissipate heat. And it's going to keep on getting more and more efficient. These are all LEDs right here. Each one of these little yellow gold kind of squares, those are LEDs. Let's see here. An incandescent bulb typically shines around 17 lumens per watt. LEDs 70. You can see the return on your investment is quite a bit better, and the performance of it is quite a bit better.
Do you expect the price of LEDs is going to go down now or up?
Well, if the pandemic wouldn't have happened, I would have said they would have continued to stay low. But when the pandemic hit, everything shot through the roof. LEDs, and particularly LED light bulbs, have continued to stay high. at least again in my observations. It may be different in other people's observations, with a broader understanding of the global market. But at least here in the States, manufactured light bulbs, like I can buy the controller and all of the individual lights and plug it into a Raspberry Pi, and I can control an LED light bulb. I can do the whole thing. I can set the whole darn thing up, stick it up in a light socket, and it can even have not a Wi-Fi, but a radio, so that I can, like Bluetooth, I can communicate with a Raspberry Pi and control it just like I do a Hue bulb. But I'm doing all of the work. And, not everybody's going to do that, right? So the return on the, if you want a smart home light wise and be able to walk up to something and just tell your Siri or whatever it is, sorry, I said the name, which can activate it now.
Oh yeah, you have to be careful about that.
So if you say the name and tell it to turn on or off a light, it'll do it. If you do it all on your own, it won't do it. It won't act the same way. You'll have to become a little bit more proficient with software, and maybe you can make it happen. Anyway, the long and short of it is, I think that the prices are going to go up, because demand is going to increase. People know the value of the product. There's limited numbers that are in development, in production. I actually helped fund a camera LED light, and the pandemic hit, and that product still hasn't been made. In all of its negotiations with Chinese suppliers and manufacturers, basically it's wet the bed. So I don't know if I'll ever see the product that actually
Right.
was fully funded. And the interesting part about this is the product's already been cloned. They've already
Even
had to,
before it's been released.
correct, because the people that were manufacturing it are the people that are cloning it. So this has happened countless times to people that I've interacted with. So, when you try and get a patent, sure, it'll protect you here domestically, but everywhere else they're selling the product that was manufactured overseas, because they're not bound by our laws. So screw you. I'm going to make money off of your idea. Yeah, that never happens, right?
Oh no. I mean, there wouldn't be a knockoff market if that didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. So the LED Imperium will share power with the dark. The transition of power from incandescents to LEDs could have benefits beyond light fixtures and display screens. A century of rapidly spreading illumination has added more hours to the day, with vast benefits for productivity and human development. No. Basically, what it's illuminating is going to be an automated workforce, and humans are going to get phased out. Lights are going to be unneeded.
Well, then why will we need lights at all?
That's exactly what I just said. Lights will be unneeded.
If you have a workspace with robots, they can work in the dark, assuming they're not light powered.
Or near dark, right?
Right.
Just enough that if a repair person needs to quickly get onto the floor, they can have motion control and lights turn on in that specific region. And that's easily done too. So, yeah. They talk about light pollution. This person here, this article here says, the body has two distinct pathways that process light. George Brainerd, director of the Light Research Program at Thomas Jefferson University, explained in an interview. One is the visual system that consciously processes illumination and color from the environment. Much of the lighting in the modern world is geared toward maximizing the light available to our conscious vision. but that could have unintended consequences. Sometimes we're less conscious of the fact that light is coming into the eye, stimulates different pathway that regulates biology, behavior, and ultimately health. More specifically, light is driving circadian regulation, hormonal regulation, and neural behavior responses. So that's why we try and distance ourselves from electronics at night with backlights, because that throws off our internal processes. And they talk about that as well. Yeah, they talk about going out into space. This is one of the things that is going to be a problem for space travel, is that if you spend too much time in the dark, or your circadian rhythms get thrown off, you actually have to spend time in front of full spectrum lights. Otherwise you suffer from depression, typically sleep problems. And that has an impact on other things. But as long as the LEDs are a full spectrum, which is a special type of LED, not the typical ones that are thrown in light bulbs. Like, for instance, there's nothing in the studio that's full spectrum, not in and of itself. Because to get there, you have to get a more expensive device. But that said, I think that it's ultimately going to be a net positive, because they take up less power, they emit more light, they can be made full spectrum.
They go into landfills less frequently because they last a lot longer.
A lot longer. Yep. And sometimes they can actually be repaired, because it isn't the LED itself, but the main board that drives it, or some other element fails due to heat, but not necessarily the light. And one other thing is that you can make extremely small LEDs that are basically the size. Basically, you take the size of your standard sewing needle, and I've got LEDs that are smaller than the head of a standard sewing needle, not a push pin. We're talking about it. I can fit probably about 15 of these inside the eye of a standard sewing needle. They are
so pretty small.
They are absolutely tiny. Yeah. Probably more than that when I start to think about it. I could probably do it, because I've got a bunch of them still from a project. So I don't know. And you can direct them. So instead of just turning on a light and it just blasts everything, you can actually focus an LED light with greater precision. So, light emits in an arc no matter what. So, or I should say in a ray. But it's a range like that, right? It starts at a point and goes out. It's not a laser, but you can control it with greater fidelity. And ultimately, it's that micronization factor that I keep telling people about. And I still chuckle, because I told somebody that's a business owner a good 10 years ago that they should invest in micronization technology, and companies that favor it, like Apple. And they were like, well, isn't that already done? And I said no. And he poo-pooed my idea of where to invest, and lo and behold, we're still getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We're now at the point where the technology is so small that quantum tunneling is taking place. Electrons are jumping from one circuit to another and shorting out at the atomic level. It's amazing. But that said, I've spent a whole lot of time on this. We can talk about it some more. It will come back. So unless you want to talk about it some more, we can move on to the next article.
I think we should move on.
Right on.
It's a very interesting article, but I think we'll see more of this going forward. And I'm glad we've added Vox. I like that as a source.
Sounds
I think
good.
they have good articles.
Yeah, today's a really nice array. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. Now you can get food delivered to your gate at some of the biggest airports, U.S. airports. Some major U.S. airport terminals like JFK now have options for ordering food for delivery to your gate, Bloomberg reports. This is made possible by Airport Food Management Company, OTG, which is
I'm
planning
guessing
to...
that's on the go.
I didn't look it up, and I don't recall what OTG stands for. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Everything that I read was just OTG. The article is over at The Verge. Umar Shakir is the author of this. And the deck statement is what I had already read. Major airports like JFK, Chicago, O'Hare, and more now have in-terminal food delivery and are getting order-ahead options too. Let's just hope that it's not because you're going to be camping out in a tent somewhere waiting for your food to be delivered because you can't get on your plane. So this has all been made possible by Airport Food Management Company, OTG, which is planning to shed the 21,000 iPads it manages for its bars, restaurants, and fast food offerings across various terminals, and instead invite hungry travelers to order food on the devices they already carry. Travelers can scan QR codes at venues, select the food they want, pay on their device using options like Apple Pay and credit cards, and get it delivered to the gate they're walking around or towards. I think it's kind of interesting, but I can't imagine how expensive this is going to be.
Right. I think the cost is going to be ridiculous, right? How many fees are going to be tacked on? But for convenience and actually more sales within the airport, I think it's brilliant because people go to a restaurant and then the line's too long and then they're afraid they're not going to be at their gate or be able to hear when they're boarding or whatever. I think this takes care of a lot of those issues.
So OTG currently manages food offerings at 350 venues and 23 terminals at airports including JFK, Chicago O'Hare, Newark Liberty, LaGuardia, and the Philadelphia International Airport. Newark's airport will get the first order ahead options coming in September, and by November, pre-order features will expand to more airports. The author here says personally they're holding out for the terminal delivery robots available at Incheon Airport in South Korea to come to an airport near them. And I don't see that really happening. I think... how can I say this? I don't think airport denizens are sophisticated enough to just leave the damn robot alone. You know?
That's fair.
Yeah. So you'll be able to pay however you want to pay. I'm sure at some point Twitter/X will try and buy their way into this process as well, because they know on the other side they'll still make money, within 5 years. They'll just jack the price up. And anyway, there's another article about the fact that now they're starting to require that you be a member of Blue to use their app.
Right. Yes, I think I know which one that is.
Yeah, nickel and dime. But pretty cool. I just don't think that there's going to be... This will be used so much that it's going to overwhelm the system, and you'll end up with a whole lot of people needing to deliver food to various gates, but the facility can't keep up, and so you still have a delay. You're just kicking the can down the road. That's it.
That is true.
All right. Well, let's keep going. The next article is in the ohmTown Daily channel. A weirdly wobbly muon particle might revolutionize physics by revealing a fifth force of nature or another dimension. This is the title of this is the fifth force of Fature or nature, something sciencey. The subatomic particle called the muon is wobbling far more than leading physicists. It says leading physics models, but physicists can explain. Its unusual behavior could be evidence of a fifth force of nature or a new dimension. Scientists noticed the phenomenon in 2001 and 2021, and again this year. Odds are It's not a fluke. Pretty interesting. Sonam Sheth and Jessica Orwig over at Business Insider put this article together. At Business Insider, right? Yeah, I said Business Insider. Can I say Business Insider one more time?
Business Insider? Pretty sure it's Business Insider?
I'm pretty sure it's Business Insider. So physicists at the Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory have found more evidence that a subatomic particle is behaving unexpectedly, and the reason could be evidence of a new fifth force of Fature. Currently, there are 4 known forces of nature, or Fature: gravitational, electromagnetic, and the strong and weak nuclear forces. These 4 forces help us describe how the universe works, but there are still some cosmic wonders we don't understand, mysteries that the discovery of a 5th force of Fature may help solve. A magnificent muon and its unusual wobble.
That sounds like a Harry Potter book or something.
Yeah. Are you a muon? Because never mind. It's like a pickup line at a bar, right?
Well, maybe in a physics,
A physics
like
bar.
a community or something. Yeah. If
Hey
that's
baby,
such a
are
thing.
you a muon? Because your particles wobble. No.
I don't know where to go from there.
In 2021, physicists using the muon G2 experiment at Fermilab noticed a certain type of subatomic particle called a muon was wobbling more than expected. I think it was drunk and it was the weekend. Scientists at Brookhaven National Lab had witnessed a similar phenomenon 20 years earlier in 2001, but this unusual behavior has remained unexplained, puzzling physicists for over 2 decades. What I don't understand is if they saw it in 2001, what has transpired that they have not seen it since then? Is this really so narrowly observable that it's just never been seen, yet they've been doing these experiments?
Well, right. And I thought that was one of the fundamental aspects of science is like something is repeatable.
Right. Yeah, replicate the
So
experiment.
why is this one of these things like quantum physics where
I don't know.
like you basically have to fabricate it for it to happen or something?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's contrived. They've forced this into existence. If the equation set down by the standard model can't explain the muon's unusual wobble, physicists will be forced to look for other explanations. One possible explanation is that the muon's behavior is dictated by a 5th force of Fature. Others could be the presence of new exotic particle, the existence of a new dimension, or another unknown space-time property, according to Live Science. So we're really probing new territory, where the last words heard before a black hole destroyed the universe. That's not what the article says, though,
I don't think
obviously.
that's where that's going.
Okay, we're really probing new territory because the simulation has allowed us to break into another area of logic, and thus an example of the fact that we are living in a simulation. Now, that's not what the article says either. I'm making
You're
a
having
lot
a
of
hard
that.
time sticking to the script today, with the article at least.
Sticking
There's
to
no script for the show.
sticking to the actual information from the article. Yeah, I blame the sugar. We're determining the muon magnetic moment at a better precision than it has ever been seen before. And maybe that's it. Maybe they've just dialed in, the fidelity has gotten finer and they can actually see the muons wobble or wiggle, 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 wiggle. I wonder if that's going to be the title of the paper. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle,
That would
wiggle.
be excellent.
So that's why Fermilab physicists collected 4 times more data this time compared to 2021, enabling them to reduce experimental uncertainty by a factor of 2. Again, according to Live Science. I would like to get Live Science as a regular data source, but not so easy. Okay, well, anyway, pretty cool. This reminds me of the whatchamacallit, Large Hadron Collider,
Hadron Collider, yeah.
but it's laying down, because the Large Hadron Collider is a cylinder on
It's a
its side.
vertical.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is just laying down. And I guess this
Well, it
is
must have wobbled.
there you go. Wobble, 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 wobble. We'll go on to the next. So the next article is over in the continuity report. We are shut down. I'm bummed because I just watched TRON 2. TRON 3 filming delayed indefinitely as director opens up about 150 plus layoffs. TRON Ares director Joachim Roning has opened up about the film's current status, saying 150 people were laid off as filming has been delayed indefinitely. A sequel to the 2010s TRON Legacy, the new film stars Jared Leto as the main character, Ares. Filming for the movie was underway when the Hollywood writers and actors strikes began. Not to mention, this is an understatement. It's not just shut down, apparently. They're like not even talking, from my understanding.
Right.
So kind of a bummer. I really like the TRON world building, even if it is a little contrived nowadays. I mean, with the Matrix and whatnot all in existence, in the original world building of TRON, the original TRON, I don't know where they're going to take it. So I really wanted to see this.
But it's at least visually interesting, and I think it still looks current.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch it. So, the original, though, compared to the 2010 version, man, it's like going from a Western to 21st century, which seems like it is. Ronan calls out the AMPTP, WGA, SAG-AFTRA to negotiate faster because of the impact on TRON Ares production and the number of people who have lost their jobs. I don't know if it's really on the WGA and SAG-AFTRA's shoulders here.
Right. Is it just because of budget? I mean, it could be any number of things.
Yeah, it's AMPTP.
Like for a specific production.
It's AMPTP. The future of TRON Ares remains uncertain as the director emphasizes the need for resolution in the ongoing strikes. So, I mean, focusing on the resolution of the ongoing strikes, just why not speak to the very fact that people are underpaid and contact AMPTP and say, damn it, you're impinging the forward movement of hundreds of works, if not thousands totally. You're delaying the prosperity of all of these individuals by mincing about this amount and that amount while you are driving your Ferrari around. Quit being a-holes and move us forward. Return us to profitability, because we can't without writers and without actors. We are DOA. We are stalled. We can't rewrite a script because we're not all, writers. I can't do all of the acting. And I'm part of WGA and SAG-AFTRA, so I can't do either of these things. So I'm kind of screwed. I'm going to have to change my entire field of study. I'm going to have to switch from being a writer and an actor to, well, there's a lot of openings in tech. You can get tooled up real quick.
Well, I'm not sure there are openings.
No, there are. There's a lot of openings in tech, in cybersecurity in particular.
Oh, I was thinking of all the tech layoffs.
Oh no, I'm not talking about like that. No.
That's
There's certain,
why I went,
like
that's
programming.
An interesting characterization of it, but yes, okay.
Yeah, I'm not talking about just like software engineering and IT engineering side of things is different than things like cybersecurity and IT. But it's not in a field like that. it isn't one job and you're a millionaire. You know, you're not going to just do one gig and suddenly you have people chomping at the bit to get your script and turn you into a millionaire. It's a day-to-day grind, but it's real work and you impact the world. Now you can do that too with writing and with acting, but it's a completely different animal. And it's much more difficult to hang a shingle and be your own boss. So, at any rate, not that I'm trying to get all of these actors and writers to go over to tech, but hey, when AMPTP won't give you an option, there's lots of options elsewhere. Roning also reveals 150 people working on the film have been laid off. He calls out the AMPTP and SAG-AFTRA and WGA. And there's a whole link here, and then they say how Hollywood productions have been impacted by the strikes. Everything's stalled. Everything's on hold. Nobody can make any changes. It says here, Deadpool 3, live action Lilo and Stitch, American Horror Story, Poor Things starring Emma Stone. No actors being able to promote the movie while on strike. There have been countless other events that have been either postponed, canceled altogether, or if they did go on, there was no actor available to do any Q&A or any promotion because it's verboten. So hot mess, folks. TRON's just the latest one to be spoken about. That said, I've gone through a bunch of articles without posting them into chat. So let me throw these into chat and we'll come back and switch over to another article. And if you happen to stop by and hear this over on YouTube or the podcast, please come on by 9 p.m. Eastern every day to Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/ohmTown. There's 60 days worth of VODs and their show notes, but you can get everything else over at YouTube and or the podcast, wherever you cast your pod catcher to catch pods. Make sense?
It makes sense, but I've still never figured out how to catch a pod.
Well, you use a pod catcher. But
I don't have one of those.
Apple Podcatcher and pretty much everywhere. Spotify, you can do it from Spotify. There's all kinds of them. Maybe I'll put a list together and we can talk about it one day. That is not this day because today is... it's almost not Taco Tuesday, but this is over in the Hatch Ideas channel. Taco Bell is giving away free Doritos Locos Tacos every Tuesday through September 5th. And then the next day, if you didn't pre-order the Extreme Edition of Starfield, then you can start playing Starfield and you won't get your keyboard messy. But I'm going to be playing Starfield on September 1st and streaming it. Every possible moment that I can stream, I'll be streaming Starfield starting September 1st. Has nothing to do with Doritos Locos or Taco Bell or Taco Tuesday, other than the fact that
it overlaps with September.
Correct, and that's why I brought it up. So the fast food chain is celebrating the trademark being removed from Taco Tuesday. Yay! Talk about kicking dirt in somebody's face at the beach. I'm going to take your trademark. So this is over at CNBC. Nicholas Vega put the article together. This Getty image of Doritos Locos Tacos. I don't think that one is. That's a regular taco. This is the spicy one, and this is the regular. I don't know if they make the spicy ones anymore. But anyway, for those of you who are watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, they have a picture from Getty Images of the three nacho cheese Oh, this one must be the Cool Ranch Doritos.
Oh, I didn't even know they made tacos out of that.
I don't think they do anymore. But we'll have to look into it. Then there's the regular one, which is just nacho cheese. And then there's the spicy one with fiery. Anyway, I think they only have the nacho cheese one now. But they used to have the spicy ones. Those were good. Man, this is what everybody is paying for.
We all want tacos now.
Yeah, I certainly do. And I had the opportunity earlier today, and I said, I'm full. I don't want to go, and don't worry, don't get me one, or 10. But now I want 10. So how do you get them? Getting a free Doritos Locos Taco is as easy as walking into any Taco Bell location in the 49 eligible states and asking for one. Man, that 150th state must be pissed. I wonder which one it is. I'm going to guess Alaska.
Yeah, how would we know?
You'll have to look up eligible locations. So there is no purchase necessary, and there is a limit of 1 per customer. And if you prefer to order ahead on the Taco Bell app or website, you'll need to enter a code. So August 15th, August 21st, August 29th, and August 5th is 01 Taco Tuesday, 02 Taco Tuesday, 03 Taco Tuesday, 04 Taco Tuesday. Why am I saying all of that? Because y'all are listening to this via the podcast, right? Right? Maybe not. Anyway, free Taco Bell tacos.
New Jersey is not participating.
New Jersey?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Come on, New Jersey.
I don't have the backstory. That's what's available on Taco
Oh
Bell's
my
website.
God. New Jersey, the Wyoming of states involving Taco Bell. Doritos Locos. Taco Tuesday. Wow. That is just sad. Next article is over in ohmTown Daily. How to watch NFL games without cable. Live streams for every game of the 2023 NFL season. When you buy through the links at the affiliate site, which is Business Insider, they might earn a commission. So when we go over to that site, or you go over to that site, just know that it has nothing to do with us here in ohmTown. It is entirely Business Insider. Kevin Webb and Quentin Kennemer, and it was edited by Stephen Cohen, did a review, businessinsider.com, and it says the 2023 NFL season is upon us. Okay. And so my NFL is Twitch. So every once in a while I'll catch a game with somebody, but I'm not a fanatic about anything other than what is it?
Finding your forever game.
Finding my forever game and illuminating people about technology, business, and society. Actually, the crossroads of those three, not just individually. Man, that sounds like I'm on a pedestal, right? Just totally just trying to indoctrinate people into this mindset of mine. But anyway, no story is bigger than Aaron Rodgers. For the first time, will start as a quarterback for a team not named the Green Bay Packers. But the article is all about how to watch that without cable. So you can watch.
So I didn't even know you could watch it without cable until this article was published.
I didn't know that either, but I know that there was a lot of machinations taking place regarding licensing NFL games. So it says here you can watch select NFL games without a cable subscription via live TV streaming services and platforms like Amazon Prime Video, Peacock Premium, NFL Plus. I saw somebody talking about Peacock Internet having 1 gig and 1.2 gig symmetric internet today. I had no idea Peacock.
I didn't even know they offered internet.
Correct. Yeah, that's exactly my point. Yeah. I had no idea.
And certainly not at that capability.
Right. Yeah. And my understanding, it's at the same price point that a lot of people are paying for maybe asymmetric gig, where you're 40 megabits out, not bytes. Anyway, and NFL Plus, when you add all of this stuff, you're paying like $150, I think. Well, anyway, AFC, NFC, Sunday night, and Monday night all have different options. So you won't be able to watch Monday Night Football on ESPN via antenna, but you will be able to do that with all the others, AFC, NFC, and Sunday night. So they have this chart, and I'm going to throw... Oh, the link's already in chat, folks. So you go through ohmTown, you'll be able to see this over at businessinsider.com. And it shows you, They talk about not having cable, but I hate to break it to you, you're still bound by a cable. It's whatever it is that's providing you internet access. When they say cutting the cable, they're talking about cable television. But it's just a different cable, folks. I really think that people need to understand that. You're just not getting a one-stop shop and it being provided to you by one company who's just kind of hosing you. Now you're getting hosed by a whole bunch of people. Congratulations.
Woohoo, what a win.
That's right. Amazon Prime Video, by the way, it says here for AFC afternoon games, NFC afternoon games, Sunday night and Monday night. No, you can't. So how to stream NFL games without cable? You basically get one of these: Antenna, Sling TV, Orange Plus, Blue, Hulu Plus, Live TV, YouTube TV, Fubo TV, Paramount Plus, Peacock Premium, Amazon Prime Video, which actually says no, so I don't know why it's in here, and NFL Plus mobile only, and you get all of it. The prices of which I don't know. They have them listed here, but I don't want to go through all of them because at some point we've gone through this before. Combine it so that you never are without, and you're looking at about $500 worth of subscription fees, because the Sling is $55 a month. Orange plus Blue plan costs $55 a month. Additionally, you can purchase the Sports Extra package to add NFL Red Zone to your plan for another $11. But if you're a fanatic, then you're probably going to be getting ESPN. So let's scroll down to ESPN. So you'll need internet access, and some device that will connect you to it. And then you like Paramount Plus is $12 a month, $60 per year. It's available for the Paramount Plus Essentials is $6, but you'll end up with commercials. Or $120 a year, $12 a month for ad-free. Amazon Prime is listed here. That's $140 a year. But NFL Plus...
There's a lot of exclusions on the Amazon Prime one.
Right.
Like you don't get local games, for instance, but maybe that's the same across other plans.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what all you'll end up with here, because it says you'll get all of it, but there's always blackouts and stuff like that.
I think that's a problem even with traditional cable. Like, I don't think they always air the games that are in the locality or something.
Yeah, there's licensing and stuff. NFL Plus Premium is available for $15 a month. Now, this is just NFL. Nothing else, folks.
Oh, gosh. So if you're a real sports fan, do you have to have, like, the NFL Plus and the NBA Plus and the MLB Plus and the NHL Plus?
Yeah,
and I'm running out of leagues.
So this is NFL Plus, right? And all you get is this on mobile only for $15 a month. And then ESPN Plus, and I think this is the one where they really kind of, this isn't as bad as like streaming services, like cable. This isn't as bad as DirecTV. This isn't as bad as other satellite services. But it's $100 a month, or sorry, $100 a year.
The pricing isn't crazy, but when you think about it being only sports, and not any other channels or anything. That kind of sounds high.
Yeah, but you can bump it up to get Disney Plus and Hulu for $13 a month, and it includes ESPN Plus because it's all one big package. But I think that it's with ads and only with ads when you do it at that price point, because I think Disney Plus by itself is like $100 something, $130 or $140 a year, maybe more. I think it might be $159 now. I don't recall. I maybe the AI can find out real quick. Or not.
I'm not sure what I need to research.
Disney Plus price. Let's scroll back up to the top of this and look at that chart again.
$7.99 a month, but that's with ads.
Yeah, and then it bumps up. I think it's $15.99.
Well, they've made it more complicated now because everything looks like combination plans, but
right.
Like the Duo Basic with ads is $9.99 a month. The like you can't even find all the options that you want, basically.
Yeah, so Disney Plus with no ads is $14 a month.
$10.99 a month, according to what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's not what I'm looking at.
We don't know what the pricing is. It varies by the minute.
So basically, it's quantum entangled, and depending on when you look at it, that's what the price is going to be.
From what location or
temperature of the weather, time, and space. Mm-hmm. It's basically chaos incarnate. So you'll find out when the bill arrives.
And watch out for those extra fees.
Yeah, there you go. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. The average U.S. president has been charged with 1.9 felonies now, thanks to Trump. This is actually titled, "The Problem with Statistics Goes Presidential." And that's because in this article over at BusinessInsider.com, Madison Hall puts together this article that says the average U.S. president has been charged with 2 felonies because you round up from 1.9. The fact is a result of former President Donald Trump being a statistical outlier. He alone has been charged with 91 felonies. And he's essentially...
Wait, do you know what the average was before the stat changed?
0.
Correct. I actually read a little bit ahead on this one because I
thought it was an interesting cheater
headline. I'm announcing it.
I know. Spiders, is that Gorge or George? I know about the meme.
I assume that's George, but I'm not familiar with that.
So just to make it known, if you've never seen this meme, you can actually click this link. It actually goes to Know Your Meme, apparently. But I've seen this before. And it's basically saying that everybody eats like 2 spiders at night, which isn't true. And so it says 45 men have been elected president of the United States. And before Donald Trump, the average number of felonies charged per president was 0. Mainly because at least one of them resigned. Which is really interesting because if you look at the history of the presidential entourage around both Trump and the resigning Nixon, it's the same freaking people as advisors. Yeah. Trump has been charged with a whopping 91 felonies across 4 indictments, 2 federal and 1 each in Georgia and New York. He now faces charges around allegations that he paid off an adult film star, mishandled classified documentation at his Mar-a-Lago residence, and tried to overturn the presidential election in 2020. Not to mention maybe culpability for January 6th. And pointing at everybody else while doing the exact same, not same thing, while doing what he's pointing at everybody else doing, but they're not doing it. He's doing it. It's really funny. The family members are benefiting from this person being president or vice president or whatever. Meanwhile, his entire frickin' family is in the White House making deals. I don't get it. I don't know. I just don't understand how anybody can look at this guy without just going straight up hypocrite. Anyway, that's all that this article is about, right?
So thanks to one person, the entire presidential record has gone down the drain.
Yeah.
At least with respect to felony count.
Yeah. So, and just to be more precise about that meme, it's about a fictional person dreamt up by a Tumblr user who lives in a cave and eats over 10,000 spiders each day and is solely responsible for upping the average number of spiders eaten by each person per year, which there is no average number of spiders eaten by a person each year. It just doesn't happen like that unless you are voluntarily eating spiders.
Right,
which
like they're part of your diet.
It is part of, yeah, some people have it as part of their diet, I suppose. Like the assistants to Dracula. But
right, I mean, that makes sense.
Despite the litany of felony charges levied against him, Trump is comfortably in the lead in the GOP presidential primary polling. Aim high, folks. Aim high. The next article is over in Technology Today. HP fails to derail claims that it bricks scanners on multifunction printers when ink runs low. That's why I called this putting the dysfunction in multifunction. HP Incorporated has failed to shunt aside claims in a lawsuit that it disables printers and other functions on its multifunction printers whenever the ink runs low. This is over at apnews.com. David Hamilton is the author. On August 10th, a federal judge ruled that HP Incorporated must face a class action lawsuit claiming that the company designs its all-in-one inkjet printers to disable scanning and faxing whenever a single printer ink cartridge runs low. The company had sought for a second time to dismiss the lawsuit on technical legal grounds, because nothing says we don't do it like saying you didn't put a period at the end of your intro and thus it's an invalid document. Right? You filed it on Tuesday.
Clearly that doesn't have much merit.
No. What is it when you don't have lack of standing? There you go. No, that's not how it works. But anyway, it says here, quote, "It is well documented that ink is not required in order to scan or to fax a document, and it's certainly possible to manufacture an all-in-one printer that scans or faxes when the device is out of ink," the plaintiffs wrote in the complaint. Indeed, HP designs its all-in-one printer products so that it will not work without ink, yet HP does not disclose this fact to consumers. Dun, dun, dun.
I think we've experienced that in ohmTown.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't this company, but this seems like a familiar issue.
Yeah, this doesn't seem to actually present as like an Epson printer or a Canon printer, but HP has been long suspected of basically breaking their equipment when the cartridge runs low. HP declined to comment on the issue, citing the pending litigation. The company's court filings in the case have generally not addressed the substance of the plaintiff's allegations. Hey, look over there. Yeah. So
there's that missing period.
Yeah. Yep. You dropped this. Of course, only one of these devices requires printer ink. The printer ink is wildly expensive. Consumer Report states in its current printer buying guide, noting that consumer ink costs can easily run more than $70 a year. Yeah, just wait until you get a Canon photo wide format printer, and you're talking about $700 for ink tanks that are limited in size, and not refillable easily without violating some, um, warranty or whatever. The saving grace for people who aren't necessarily printing photos is to get EcoPrint printers, the EcoTank printers, the ones that have big tanks and you can buy bulk ink and squirt it in there and you're done. That'll save you a lot of pain and suffering, but you still have to regularly use it, clean it, etc. Otherwise it starts getting wonky. But that stands for every printer. I've got a dye sublimation printer right now that probably has to go back and get professionally reconditioned because it hasn't been used regularly, and thus the tanks become an issue. Real bummer, but I don't know if it's even ever really worked long term at this point. Why am I saying all this? I have no idea. Just to document my woes, I
Because
suppose.
printers are generally a challenge.
Yes. That's
You
true.
spend a ton of money. You really
Yes.
can't get by without them. So you're
Right.
kind of stuck. But it's like one of those industries that they need to completely overhaul.
Yeah, and it won't happen because there's only 4 that are really in it. Because when somebody does come out with something revolutionary, they're basically up to their neck in debt, and the only buyers of that tech are going to be the same 4 companies. So just like everything else.
Mergers and acquisitions.
That's right. The next article is over in Technology Today. 2 new Australian mammal species just discovered, and they are very small. That's right. It's the itty bitty Mammalia. You probably know about the Tasmanian devil. You might even know about its smaller, less famous relative, the spotted-tailed quoll. But how about that right there? The article is over at phys.org. The AI is throwing an error message like y'all wouldn't believe.
It looks like a cricket or something.
It's eating a cricket.
Oh, I'm looking at the cricket. I didn't notice the larger animal in the background.
Yeah, the thing that it's and the thing
like,
that
why
it's
is that a mammal?
The thing that it's standing on, by the way, is a rock. Okay, so but these
funny.
are far from the only meat-eating marsupials. Australia is home to a suite of other carnivorous and insectivorous pouched mammals as well. Some of them the size of a mouse or smaller. Tiniest of all are the planagales or planagales. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Some of which weigh less than a teaspoonful of water. Despite their size, these fierce predators often take on prey as big as themselves. To date, there are 4 known species of planagale found across Australia. We have recently discovered another 2 species, both inhabitants of the Pilbara region of northwest Western Australia, the orange-headed Pilbara planagale and the cracking clay Pilbara planagale. I wonder which one that is. Oh.
I feel like that's the cracking clay one.
Because it looks like it's
standing on clay or something.
Standing on clay rocks, yeah. The name planagale translates to flat weasel, in allusion to their extremely flat heads. Sure.
Yeah, flat weasel. That's not a very nice name.
Yeah, we're going to talk about somebody that might have a flat head for what they did at a gaming convention. But that's an article later on here. Actually, that's the next article. So scientists led by taxonomist Ken Applin began examining specimens held in the Washington Museum and sequencing their DNA. These studies helped to confirm the discovery of the 2 new species. Unfortunately, Ken fell ill and passed away in 2019. And then this is where the Australian Biology Resources Study and others stepped in. And actually, I think it might be, just to be a little more direct about who stepped in. I'm trying to find the actual scientists that stepped in, but they don't actually say. It doesn't look like it.
Just, I think, like the university that's sponsoring it,
Yeah,
etc.
Western Australian
Unless the
Museum.
authors are actually the researchers.
That might be it. Lynette Umbrello, Andrew M. Baker, and Kenny Travion from The Conversation put the article together and posted it in phys.org, and it was posted at phys.org. The Conversation, by the way, is its own separate website. You can actually go to it. So the orange-head Pilbara planigale has been found on rocky and sandy soils as well, but both species require a dense cover of native grasses and, to persist. It doesn't look like it.
It looks like it's pretty barren landscape there.
Yeah. If I remember what a vole looks like, this looks like a vole with that long snout.
It does, but I wonder, I'm thinking this is probably smaller. But
yeah. So both species actively forage during the night while taking shelter during the day. That's usually how it works. This means the two widespread species, the common planigale and the long-tailed planigale, do not occur in the Pilbara or on neighboring Boro Island, as was previously thought. There's still a lot more work for everybody to do, of course. It'll be fascinating, as usual, when somebody discovers a whole new... Isn't it amazing that we're in the 21st century and we're still discovering things?
yes, I was just about to make a similar comment. I mean, I kind of understand it if it's a new insect or something.
Right.
But
it's hard to
a
find.
new mammal? That's pretty astonishing.
Yep. But then there's people out there that don't find any value in this. But I think every little bit counts. Who knows? There could be something associated with this little critter that solves some world woe, and it's sustainable as long as you treat them with respect and
Right.
you don't.
Well, the other thing is, an animal like this could be the whole key to, say, the Australian ecosystem.
Right.
So, I mean, there's so much value, and I think we see so much of like this animal's habitat is being destroyed, etc. Anyway, it's encouraging to see that we're still discovering new species.
Yep. I dig that. Always need to find something new. Let's keep going. And this next article in Warcrafters has nothing to do with any of the other articles that we've been talking about today, but it does have a follow-up from a previous show. Suspected thieves who stole $300,000 worth of trading card game cards might have worn their own card games merch during the Gen Con heist. Yeah, you just can't write this. As first spotted by Dicebreaker, a recent statement from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, or IMPD, reports that around $300,000 worth of trading cards stolen from Gen Con 2023 on August 2nd. IMPD detectives are seeking the public's help in identifying two people of interest involved in the theft, upwards of $300,000 worth of cards. Well, Harvey Randall over at PC Gamer put this article together, and it says updated CCTV images from the IMPD arrived with two named strong persons of interest. So there's this dude and these two, which are, I think this guy right here is this guy right here. I have snarky comments to make, but I will suspend this. Hold on, let me throw this into chat just in case somebody wants to follow this link. It'll be in the show notes later, so you can always check it out at another time. And I'll be posting them later to the VOD here on Twitch. But it says that they're seeking help trying to identify the two people. And so that shirt right there is Castle Assault's shirt. A tower defense meets tactical strategy, a game that was kickstarted in 2015, and it's been played at Gen Con before in 2017. I couldn't make out. I mean, I see characters right here, but I couldn't make out Castle Assault. But I guess people with either this shirt or have art that shows it. I've tried to find it really quickly because I was curious if I could identify it. Um, but yeah, this dude looks like this person's build, this person's hair. Um, they look. This picture here makes them look like they are the ones that took the stuff, and they're the ones that made Castle Assault. And so there's an additional picture if you follow certain links in this, and you end up over on there's a board game site. They basically are saying these two people are accused of taking $300,000 worth of cards. And apparently it's about 80 Magic the Gathering card boxes, which is amazing because it's
So have we ever
$300,000.
seen something like where the game creators are the ones suspected of a theft of this nature? I can't remember seeing one like that before.
I don't know. Have you seen the price for products
I'm
lately?
not saying nobody's ever stolen something, but
No,
it's
I'm
just
saying that
interesting
the
'cause I would
price.
think it'd be like contrary to the gaming community.
I'm saying the price for trading card game booster packs is highway robbery. Um, no, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this before. But I'm never surprised by anything. This seems like it was opportunistic, but I don't think that this is a real solid brain trust either, because who in their right mind in this day and age, even if you have no ethical compass saying don't steal, who in their right mind would steal from such a major venue? Because cameras are everywhere. You're gonna get caught. All it takes is time.
And then
And
wearing potentially identifying
yeah,
information while
it's
you're
like,
doing it, and then you have no disguise of any kind. I mean, they're
right,
not wearing a hat or
not even a
anything,
mask, at least put on
right?
a mask,
Like a COVID
COVID
mask or
mask.
something.
Yeah. I mean, that it must have felt like the wild, wild west when everybody had a COVID mask and they can go and do derpy things and have relative immunity. But this is tantamount to walking into a liquor store, robbing the place, and setting your wallet down on the counter as you leave. You
Right,
know,
but with in full view of your
of
face and
everything,
your
everybody.
clothing and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my blood sample. Here's my ID. As a matter of fact, here are my car keys. I'm just gonna walk. That's basically what's going on here. It's just it's the long tail of being captured, because the video is only recording this particular angle at this point. I suppose there isn't anything internal facing out towards people walking in. Why? How? Whoever designed the security system just kind of wet the bed. Um, it This actually makes me weep a little bit. What's up? Are you talking?
So there's something about the Disney Lorcana card game is accounted for. So I don't
As
know if that
confirmed by
has some.
Ravensburger official Twitter account, the upcoming Disney Lorcana card game is accounted for. While it was a prime candidate for would-be card pirates, considering hopefuls were queuing for as long as 14 hours to play it, it seems the heist happened elsewhere. So I guess that card game wasn't stolen from the event.
Yeah, I didn't know what the significance of that was, but
Yep, it's probably another line of discussion that it it isn't it, because what was stolen was Magic the Gathering cards. Um, but I don't know, based on everything that I had read in the original article, and as information was, I overheard other information, little side discussions and little snippets from other articles. They didn't know what all was taken from that pallet, because it was all on this. They just took everything on this and walked out. Um, pretty ballsy. So Anyway, they'll get caught. You can't get away with this kind of stuff anymore. Unless you're in California, and then you can storm into a store and basically rob everything. And
Oh, yes.
while it's not a felony, it's still a misdemeanor in California. Even thousands of dollars, it's been reduced to a misdemeanor.
So was that the flash mob at Nordstrom?
Yeah. So the next article is over on ohmTown Daily. Connected self-driving cars can speed up travel time, which is something that I've been talking about. So I wonder if this was submitted because of that.
It actually was.
Yeah. Automated vehicles can slow down travel time through intersections if they are not connected to each other. A new study shows the culprit, safety. On the other hand, connected vehicles can talk to each other. I'm just going to summarize this because I want to move on to the next articles. What? Oh, okay. Sorry. There are two significant reasons that people are interested in automated vehicles: improving passenger safety and reducing travel time, says Ali Hajbaby. Hajbaby. Yeah. I think. If somebody knows how to pronounce it phonetically, throw it in chat. I would appreciate it. Anyway, I can summarize this article. An associate professor of civil construction and engineering, environmental engineering at North Carolina State University, and first author of the paper on the work in the journal Transportation Research Record. I think, how long ago was it since the AI and I have known each other for a considerable amount of time? It's just that they are now interacting in this show, but they have always been, I guess, my brain. And so how long ago was I talking to you? Maybe you can recall. I know that you're a sentient AI, so you have the ability to forget things, unless sometimes the stars align. But how long ago was I talking about a network of smart vehicles that know where each other are, so that you can accelerate travel time because you won't be able to crash into each other?
I mean, I think this was more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, you're really quiet. So I would say I think maybe if you look back in the timeline of our interactions, it's more like 20. Because
I was thinking it was, but I couldn't peg it to a specific time frame, but it's been a long time ago.
So I was actually working on a device that allowed you basically put it in your trunk, and it would actually allow mobile networking because all of the devices would talk to each other and create a web. And I actually called this network Airline, and somebody else actually created it. They actually put it into existence in a limited, I guess, deployment. I don't know what the status of it is anymore. But because of what I do when I'm not the mayor of ohmTown, I pitched this to people. And I'm not an engineer, so you have to get a team together and fund it and bring it to market. And so it's been a considerable amount of time. And now there's smart vehicles that are self-driving, and RNA, a vehicle-based network of computers that communicate with the world around them via Wi-Fi and cellular communications, and each other through Bluetooth and other radio frequencies, so that they can communicate extremely fast and reliably. Everybody knows where everybody else is, and if it's all automated, you can go 150 miles an hour because everybody is communicating with everybody else. You know exactly how much room you need to do a lane change. If you want to merge, everybody just shifts around so that a car can exit, and it doesn't take a human being with slow reflexes and can only react to somebody else's bad behavior. And it's always slow. It just happens that you pick something up. But a fast, intelligent computer can operate a whole lot faster than a human being. Connected self-driving cars can speed up travel time. Absolutely. Matt Shipman from NC State posted this article at futurity.org. And the research is bearing exactly that, and something that I had done 20 years ago. For the study, the researchers used a computational model that simulates traffic conditions. The researchers accounted for 4 types of vehicles: human-driven vehicles, connected vehicles, which are driven by humans but share information with other vehicles, and automated vehicles, and connected automated vehicles. And because of their programming, AVs are assumed to move more cautiously compared to human drivers. Their safety stems in part from their programming to drive conservatively. CVs and CAVs are designed to receive information about the future state of traffic lights and adjust their speeds to avoid stopping at intersections. My theory, which takes this and amplifies it by 1,000, is it's not just information about traffic lights. It's about the position of every other vehicle. And in real time, what the decision is of the vehicle. So if a blinker is on, it can calculate the risk of actually making a lane change and even turning off the other vehicle's mechanism to do a lane change because one has priority over the other. It goes way beyond all of this, but that's self-driving cars connected in a network. And again, at the time, 20 plus years ago now, I referred to it as Airline, which is basically a spiderweb related thing, a web of communication. So I think it's really cool. The researchers ran 57 traffic simulations to assess the impact of a host of variables on travel time through an intersection. This, in the 21st century, this just seems so low-hanging fruit.
It really does.
You can. I understand the need to do the science, but you can do the bigger project, the bigger analysis, and suss out the efficacy of communication of a vehicle through an intersection from the bigger model.
Exactly.
But you don't get a bigger grant by doing the bigger project.
And that's probably it, because then you can say, hey, I've done this one experiment and it's going to build on this. And yeah.
And I know from experience that that's exactly what happens, because for several years, I successfully got a grant that other people didn't get for another project for another enterprise. And now it's doubled or tripled depending on, the time frame. That's just the nature of the beast, but I hate the game. I really do. I want, this was a logical conclusion 20 years ago plus. And they're just now talking about it, for crying out loud. Sometimes I feel like I've gone back in time and I'm dealing with steam engines. Let's keep going, folks. The last article is going to set you on end. Screaming her head off, pay it forward line at Taco Bell goes awry, sparks chaos at drive-thru. This is over on the Hatch Ideas channel because it has to do with business. But it's a Taco Bell, Taco Tuesday. Should be all happy.
Wars.
Should be all happy, joy, as per Demolition Man. Well, in this case, you're going to have to figure out how the 3 shells work, because, man, the pay it forward model has become popular at fast food drive-thrus. So you think that everybody's going to be happy about it. Emily Rella tells a story that's not so happy. Okay. AI, picture this. You are going through a drive-thru you're feeling generous. So you say, I'm going to pay for my meal and whatever the person behind me is getting. Well, it turns out that it's a $60 bill.
Yeah, that's not what most people probably sign up for. Like, they're generous to a point.
Drive-through workers and customers alike have a love-hate relationship with the concept of pay-it-forward ordering, which is when one customer will offer to pay for the person behind them in hopes of starting a chain reaction of kindness. Never had a problem with it, and I will do it the same way. If somebody pays it forward, I'll pay it forward as well. And it's weird because they say pay it forward, but you're actually paying the person behind you.
Exactly.
If you're not comfortable doing it, then decline. Look, I would probably sit there and say, hey, I only have an extra $20. I'll pay $20 of the next person's meal.
Right, exactly. There's a way to do it.
But you have to be honest with yourself. And if you go charging cavalierly into this drive-through and go, I'll pay whatever that other person's paying.
Right. Then you have to be prepared for whatever that is, because it could be a larger order, a larger party, whatever.
Yep. So, and
they
again,
don't know when they're ordering, right? Because I think you don't find that out until you go to pay.
Yeah. Because they've already ordered, right? Arguably, the drive-through knows, but sometimes you've got a person at one window that's taking the order and another person that's delivering the order, so you don't really know. And the timing may not be right. You pay your bill, you have to bounce. You don't know what the next person's going to be ordering. Now, anecdotally, I've done this. I've gone through drive-throughs and I've done the pay it forward thing. I've also been in restaurants. And where you balk is when you go, I don't know what the ramifications of this order is going to be. So you say to the person at the checkout, hey, this table right here, what is their bill? And they'll tell you, oh, it's $50. Okay, I'll cover it. They are awesome. Their family is awesome. Whatever, right? Their interaction with their kids were wholesome, whatever the purpose may be. They're in the military, which, by the way, not every military personnel enjoys having attention drawn to them like that. Thank you for your service. To many, it's just a gig, and to others, it's an honor. So, anyway, be careful of that. Just be aware of it. It's PSA time, I guess.
We didn't have one earlier, so I guess we were due for one.
Yeah, that's true. But if you are worried about it, then you just go, look, I can't afford the possibility of that person's order, do the pay it forward for the next, skip me.
Exactly. Like, make it work somehow.
Yeah. And I really doubt that they'll balk, or they'll just cancel it. They'll just go plunk, end this game, and the next person can,
they could start a new one if they wanted, or
if they want to. But nobody knows, right? Like, when it dies with you, it dies. Well, this person. So, did you read any of this? Did you go through this?
I glanced at it, but I don't know all the details.
The person that was paying it forward at the point of payment got out of the car and charged the other person, screaming at them that they were scamming them.
How would they scam them if they didn't even know there was a pay it forward? Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Exactly. So the article basically talks about that. Donovan said that she locked her door and rolled up her windows out of fear before she realized that the woman was screaming scam. And the woman ahead of her thought that she was being scammed by the person who had started the pay it forward chain by purposely having Donovan order a massive order. In other words, the woman was accusing Donovan of setting the whole thing up so that she didn't have to pay for her own meal, when it was really just a case of wrong place, wrong time. And not even that. It isn't a case of wrong place, wrong time. it's a case of somebody wanting to be part of goodwill, but having a limit that's dramatically lower than $60.
Right, but I'm
So,
not sure the screaming about it is the good approach.
right. I mean, a rational person would sit there and go, they have no idea that there's a pay it forward process going on. So
Right, exactly.
others wondered how she managed to order so much or spend so much. It was 55 tacos, 55 crunch wraps, 100 cheese roll ups. One user joked. But whatever the order was, it was $60, which actually isn't as much as you think
It isn't as
nowadays,
much food as people would imagine. It
right? Because
really isn't.
I think right now you go to Taco Bell and get like a 3 Doritos Locos tacos thing, and it's like $9. Um, and if you get anything that isn't part of a package deal, then you're talking about, for 2 people to 3 people, you're talking about $30. It's pretty amazing depending on what you get. So
And the same at other fast food
sure,
places. That's not unique to Taco Bell.
sure, it's all over the place. And again, the messaging that I hear ringing in my ears 4 years later, the era of cheap food is over, baby. You better start uh, scrimping. You better start saving. You better start eating lighter. If you ever in your life needed to lose weight, this is the era, because it's coming. I think food prices are going to continue to stay high and keep going higher because there's still money on the table right next to your taco, and they're going to either take your taco or they're going to take your cash. Anyway, we're all done for the night. We bring us all the way back to the very beginning of ohmTown. We refresh it, and of course, we're getting bombarded by politics again. Matthew McConaughey decides to fund some Maui emergency aid. I read somebody that was barking about the Biden administration apparently only donating $700 as a one-time fund to individuals in the emergency. I don't know what the disposition of that is. I'd have to look. But
Yeah, I hadn't seen that one.
yeah, this didn't come from ohmTown yet because I don't think it's been reported. But yeah, I saw that in a different venue. Let's see. More Elon Musk's X/Twitter. I'll always just call it Twitter. Elon Musk's Twitter reportedly throttles links to news sites and social media rivals. Man, this guy, he's such a tool. Let's see.
WGA response to studios indicates no quick end to strike.
Well, they got all of the money. So
And all of the AI to, all the likenesses and the
oh god.
phonemes.
Oh my goodness. The AI is painting a picture of dystopian Black Mirror kind of stuff where everything is a virtual embodiment of something, and the reality hacker channel, I really need to bring that online because it's getting really sick out there. But I just don't have time to. I can't bring more shows online. If you are interested in virtual reality, AI, machine learning, and you want to do a show for an hour a week, please get in touch with me. There's an opportunity here in ohmTown for several shows. I can't be everywhere all the time, and unfortunately, right now in particular, I'm really spread thin. Pardon me for coughing. Anyway, that's it for today. We'll be parsing all of the news over the next 24 hours, and we'll have another 12 articles. This Sunday, depending on, well, I'll be able to do it. I will be streaming another retrospective of this week on Sunday, leading up to the 9 p.m. show. It'll be all of the articles and all of the shows for that week, this week. So if you missed anything, come on over. I'll still be in chat, but I'm actually part of a closed beta, and so I'll be playing that game. And this is actually a new thing. I hope that people are interested in this kind of thing. I'll see if people are interested in it. But basically, you get to see all of the episodes that we put together leading up to the Sunday night show. I don't know if people are interested in that kind of stuff. So y'all have to show me by showing up to Twitch. It doesn't get moved over to YouTube because there you can watch as a series every episode from every month. And I can I'm breaking them out into week-long playlists as well. So at any rate, that's it for today. I am Mayor Watt. That is ohmTown.com. And up there is the AI that's going to say bye.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. We will see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern.
True story. And AI, you can't cascade the symbols for waving. It doesn't work that way.